Alright, one more. Hopefully my voice can hold out and John doesn't have too many lines.
Hey, cut it out.
John.
I threw the flowers away.
You threw them away? So there were flowers near the body when you found it?
Yeah, that's right. They were right on top of the president's body. They had been crushed as flat as pancakes, though.
Ah, I see. So the flowers were squashed by Muzila's head, too. And a large amount of pollen got stuck to the president's suit. That seems to be the gist of it. However, why did you go out of your way to dispose of the flowers?
No reason.
Really? So John's not going to tell us anything either. Clearly. Maybe the reason the president is such a Muzila... Well, is it possible he's John's father? Because... Yeah... I know I said I would move past this, but if that is revealed, he's 58, she's 26, he's 13. Let's do a bit of quick math here. She was 13 when she had him, that was 13 years ago. He would have been 45, alright? So, I'm gonna assume that while the game seems perfectly alright with the idea that Justine had a kid when she was 13, even the game is going to say, yeah, no, there's no way the 45-year-old had a relationship with a 13-year-old girl. That's just a bit too much for, this game, I say. However, it is possible they were seeing each other currently. That's entirely possible. Bit odd. There is a significant age difference, but it's nothing terribly illegal or anything. Nothing even remotely illegal, if I'm being perfectly honest. I guess mother and son both have a lot of secrets, huh? Well, I mean, you do. That is not true. Oh, you just have the one secret, then. Because you certainly at least have one. And since you're not telling us, you're not in any position to comment on it, Justine. At the very least, I can tell you why John threw those flowers away. Huh? John, you saw me leaving the house with those flowers in hand, did you not? Ah, I get it. John saw the flowers and thought of his mom. He threw them away in order to protect Judge Courtney from being suspected. Kind of cocked it up there, didn't you, Johnny boy?
That's not true. You're all wrong.
That was his worst lie yet. Bouquet of lion lilies. Judge Courtney gave him the president found on top of the body by John. We don't actually have that per se, but okay. The yellow stain's been identified. I often decorated our house with those flowers. The bouquet must have reminded him of me. Huh, nanomachines. So the pup just happens to find his flowers from his mother's bouquet on top of the body. That's why he threw them away and kept silent about the body. Ha, that's a tidy little story if I've ever heard one. And what's wrong with that? I suppose you prefer untidy, messy stories, Agent Lang. Don't tell me you've forgotten already, Missy. This pup confessed that he caused the monster's head to fall last night. Oh, that's true, but he's currently the only suspect in the president's murder. I'm thinking murder's a little strong at this point there, Chief. Although, of course, it will be revealed he had nothing to do with it and someone did murder him because that's the way these games always go, but for now, it seems murder's just a bit of a strong word there. Lang. It's true there are many reasons to suspect John. However, there is someone other than John who is far more suspicious. What did you say? John himself was kidnapped by that very person not too long ago. And we rescued him from the refrigerated warehouse near the harbor, pal. A refrigerated warehouse? He's even doing the snake thing where he just repeats the last thing somebody said as a question. That's right, pal. That's right. The refrigeration wasn't turned on, so he wasn't about to freeze to death. But if he hadn't yelled out for help, we would have never found him. Never found him. Once the sleeping drugs finally wore off, he was able to call out for help. Sleeping drugs.
Sleeping drugs, huh? If I recall correctly, when you were kidnapped.
That's right. There was a bottle lying on the floor of the refrigerated warehouse. I think it was the same thing that was used on me not long ago. The Sleepy ZZZ stuff, or Z's. I don't know, the Sleepy Z's. I'm gonna say it's the Sleepy Z's, because that has a nice ring to it. That Sleepy Z's stuff, it's super powerful. Used on Kay and John when they were abducted, the brand name is Sleepy Z's.
How about it, Agent Lang? John is clearly a victim.
A victim?
There's a mastermind at work behind the scenes of this case.
A mastermind? I don't know anything about this so-called mastermind. You say you were here last night.
I still don't know for sure yet.
Ha! It's not like you to be so vague, Mr. Prosecutor.
Indeed, I still don't have any evidence that ties the mastermind to this murder. Is there someone else? Is there anyone besides John who had the opportunity to murder the president?
Yeah, Blaze. Again, I think I sort of proposed this a while ago, but my motive was Blaze is just evil and was in the mood for a spot of murder.
That's it.
As I thought, in the end, the pup is our only suspect.
Isn't there one more suspect, Agent Lang?
What's this?
Didn't we prove it earlier? Last night there was one more person here.
Blaze to best. You're saying he's the one who did it.
Last night John was not alone. Blaze was here too. Shouldn't we consider him to be a new suspect?
Blaze to best killed the president.
It's entirely possible. I mean, the man is a psychotic murderer. Have you not seen him? Pyromaniac as well, probably. Loves starting fires. Hint, hint.
He's pondering this. Shave your sideburns, man. It's not a great look for you. Blaze to best. It can't be the same guy from 12 years ago.
12 years.
There's so much more to this damn case. I want to get through this game. But, like, we haven't even met Dogan yet in this case. There's that 12 years ago thing. Blaze apparently has come back up again. Like, holy hell, what's going on here?
That keeps popping up.
Well, a lot has changed. It all happened over 12 years ago. Back then, he and my father were close friends, and our clan protected the president's life.
Lang, don't tell me you're the one from 12 years ago.
If she and John have a conversation together, my throat is going to strangle itself just to save my brain the agony of trying to switch between the two of them. You got it. Ain't this nice? Now you're finally going to prison, where you belong. 12 years is a long time coming for a suspended sentence. Don't you agree?
Agent Lang, what happened 12 years ago?
Nothing that concerns you.
Ugh. On the contrary, it might just have some sort of connection to this case.
And I suppose you have some proof, Mr. Prosecutor.
Well, Patricia and Blaze keep being brought up, and you clearly know them from 12 years ago. Which reminds me, how the hell old are you? You can't be much older than Edgeworth. Yeah, so you were 15 at the time. That's old enough to have, like, a comprehensible understanding of what's going on around you. And old enough to be bitter about whatever happened to your father. Still, though, 12 years. How old was he? He was 46. He hadn't been born yet. You were... Yeah... Well, actually, he had been born yet. You were 14 and had a 1-year-old son, apparently. Kay was 5. Whatever. Actually, that probably means Kay and Edgeworth hadn't met yet.
Then I suppose you have some proof, Mr. Prosecutor. Show me the evidence that nanomachine. Show me the evidence there's a connection between this case and the one 12 years ago.
Evidence, you say? I should know this one. Oh, I feel like I should know this one. Oh, yes, of course. Evidence. Sorry. Bit of a senior moment, if you will.
If you don't have any evidence, then there's no point in talking about it.
Is there any evidence that connects this case with what happened 12 years ago? It would help if I knew what happened 12 years ago. No, that's IS-7. The thing he lay dressed in front of the flower bed 12 years ago, he simply must retrieve it. Well, bada bing, bada boom. This is a report written by Patricia blown into Blaze to Mess regarding Knightley. Please read this part here.
That thing he laid to rest near the flower bed 12 years ago. Ah, dicks.
That's not all. Take a look at this as well. This letter was sent to Jill Crane, who was murdered 2 days ago.
That's a pretty long increment of time from 12 years.
Not that important. Although the sender is currently unknown, here it is written as follows. Please get revenge for 12 years ago.
What? 12 years ago? Nanomachines.
Agent Lang, something big is happening here. Jill Crane's murder 2 days ago, and now the President's murder today. It's weird that Lang's voice, which is much more raspy, is so much easier to do than John's voice. I can do Lang's voice all day. And Edgeworth. John, I can go like an hour, at most. And even that's pushing me to my limit. There has to be some sort of connection here. And the key to solving it lies in what happened 12 years ago, does it not?
You're asking me to reopen the old wounds of the Lang clan.
Agent Lang, I beg of you. Who was that just now? I'm curious too. Sebastian, maybe? I was just thinking, if Sebastian and John have a conversation, my throat's also going to kill myself, just to spare the audience having to listen to a dialogue between those two. Shifu? What? I don't... Oh, those guys.
You guys, what are you doing here?
MIB. Man in Black, really?
We followed you here, Shifu. We heard that Shifu was investigating the incident. Shifu-senpai! From 12 years ago.
You idiots. Baka! I'm not your boss anymore. Get back to your own posts.
Sir, we can't do that.
What'd you say? Are you disobeying my orders?
Shifu, we also beg of you.
Reinvestigate the SS5. God damn, these numbers and letters.
The SS5 incident from 12 years ago. None of us could have forgotten that case. We know you feel the same way, Shifu.
Why do they call him Shifu? His name is Shilong Lang, remember? I think it's Shilong Lang. Hold on. Is it just like... Yeah, Shilong Lang. Why is he calling them Shifu? Or why are they calling him Shifu? Is that a regional thing I'm not getting? Anyway. Somebody help me out. Why are they calling him Shifu? Agent Lang, even your former subordinates desire to reinvestigate the case.
And you think you can solve the mystery of that case?
Perhaps I can, with your help. Friends to the end. Why do birds suddenly appear?
I got it. I accept your invitation.
Robber. Really? Then again, this is like the most crowded it's ever been, so...
Shifu!
Go, Shifu.
Use tackle attack. Now then, with that decided, I guess it's my turn to shine.
Okay.
We're investigating a case from the past, right? And guess what the best tool for that is?
The little Mr. Thief. Wasn't it just Mr. Thief?
Right. If we have the case files from the past case, I can recreate it.
Unfortunately, I don't have the case files.
Huh? What do you mean?
Access to those case files is restricted. It's being treated as highly classified information.
Ooh, he's sweating.
Why is that?
I don't know, but it seems like there were a lot of things that they wanted kept hidden. Even what I know is limited to what was published in the newspapers back then.
Shouldn't you know a little bit more than that, being personally involved? That will not be a problem. In any case, please tell us what you know.
Sure. What I know. The SS5 incident.
Finally.
The incident occurred on a winter day 12 years ago. It was the 10th of February.
Actually, that wasn't that long ago. Well, it was a month ago.
The police department in this country received a call from a group of kidnappers. "We've kidnapped President Huang," they said.
Kidnapped?
The SS-5 incident was the case of President Huang's kidnapping. They demanded a ransom of $100 million.
100 million? Wait, just how much is that?
It's 100 times 1 million. Like, ugh.
It's such a large amount, she's having trouble visualizing it. It is a huge, staggering amount of money. $1 million, that's... I can visualize $1 million. Like, I cannot visualize 100 million. That's... Like, what I'm visualizing is 1 million multiplied by 100 is... That's... It is hard to visualize.
That night, my old man was the last person to meet with the president. They were together at the Zhengfa embassy until midnight of February 10th. After that, no one knows what the president was doing until he was kidnapped. With the president's life at stake, the Zhengfa government frantically gathered the money. After that, the ransom was delivered, and the president was returned safe and sound.
Really? You negotiated with terrorists, huh? I guess if... That's always a tricky subject. I'll avoid it.
So, President Hong has been the president since 12 years ago.
Has been the president since 12 years ago? Wasn't he the president before that as well, Kay?
That's really amazing. Well, being in office for so long is just a small part of how amazing the man is.
Lang seemed a bit happy when he said that. And what happened to the kidnappers?
Well, a top-secret covert investigation was carried out. Then a secret trial was held.
A trial? Does that mean the suspect was caught?
The suspect was...
Patricia Rowland? She couldn't kidnap a fucking preschooler! And you're telling me she pulled off kidnapping a president and having 100 million ransom and decided to live out her life working as a warden of a prison. That's bold. Perfect cover, though. I'll give her that. And then the reason you came to the prison a few days ago.
Yeah, I was put on extended leave from Interpol. So I decided to go back and reinvestigate what happened 12 years ago.
That guy, I'm looking at the photos above Lang there. Second from the right, where the photos start. That guy has a crazy mustache.
First, I had to get a look at the face of my target.
So the trial 12 years ago ended with a not guilty verdict. You would think a secret trial as a result of a covert operation would be really just sort of a formality.
Yeah. Back then, my old man was in charge of every aspect of the president's security. He took responsibility for the kidnapping and was relieved of his post as bodyguard. But he continued to investigate as a regular police officer, until he finally found the culprit. And it was none other than Patricia Rowland. There was no way she could be innocent. However, the result was a not guilty verdict. Nanomachines. In the end, the case went unsolved. Crushed in both body and soul.
Body?
My old man resigned from the police.
God, everyone has a horrible parent story. What was the basis for arresting Patricia Rowland?
There was a lot of evidence. At least, that's what I think. But I can't see those documents for myself. So that's where my story ends.
What should we do? With only this much information? Even the little thief would have a hard time producing a recreation. Is there really nothing we can do? Now who? Looks like you could use some help. It's I, Exposition Man. Like, really, we've got everyone. Unless fucking Regina and what's-his-face come stumbling in. We're kind of full up here. Like, what are even Lotta and Nicole like? Alright, this might be a scoop, but Penny and Powers, do we really need them at this point? Who's that? This is like the finale of a soap opera. Ah, of course, these two. How could I forget? Silly me. Francisca! Why, what are you doing here? Come in and have some tea. We're just reminiscing about old times. And Mr. Shields, too. Of course it is. We finished up with the trial and we finally managed to catch up with you guys. Here, take this. This is... Ah, it's the case files for the SS... That's extremely convenient. It's the case files for the SS5 incidents. That is ridiculously, absurdly convenient that she just... Like, well, here you go, I already have them. Let's look at those right away. When Roland mentioned 12 years ago during the trial, it caught my interest. I looked into it immediately and got in touch with Interpol. Alright. I'll look into it immediately as well and get in touch with my Interpol. President Zhang Fa Dijong Hong was kidnapped on February 10, 12 years ago. Yeah, we knew that. Kidnappers demand a ransom of $100 million. Dailong Lang, I'm assuming Shilong's father, confirmed that on the evening his president was at the Zhengfa embassy until midnight. Prosecutor blazed big. Well then. Isn't that something? Also, that's really not much more to it than what Lang told us, is it? We only... Admittedly, what we learned was pretty big. At the same time, we didn't learn a lot, you know? We learned one detail. It was a big detail, but it was still just one detail. You'd think, like, some of the evidence against Patricia would also be there. But anyways, well, now I'm intrigued, and I'm gonna do one more episode of this. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Token. I'll talk to you later, shooting go shares, and see you around Ask Clowns.